Welcome to the Math Talk for June 2nd, 2020. So for this Math Talk, we're going to do another area puzzle like we did yesterday. For this area puzzle, we're also going to figure out if these statements are true or false. But this one is special because it is a whole area puzzle. So there's a hole in this grid. So we are counting the squares, these squares around the sides, but this is a hole, as if I could put my hand through it. It doesn't count as part of the area. So I'm going to read the sentences again, and you're going to see if you can figure out which ones are true and which ones are false. The area of this figure can be found by counting the squares. Area equals length times width, therefore 4 times 4 equals 16 square units. That's the area. The area of this figure is 12 square units. Which of these is true and which of these is false? The area of this figure can be found by finding 4 times 4 and then subtracting the product of 2 times 2. Is that true or false? The area of this figure can be found by adding 8 plus 8. The area of this figure is 12 square centimeters. Again, that's looking to see if we know if this is labeled and we can count up, if it's labeled and we can count up the area. So you're going to figure out which of these statements is true and which of these statements is false. If you need some more quiet in your head thinking, you may pause the video here. So the area of this figure can be found by counting the squares. This is true in our workbook pages this week, and it is always true. If you count up the squares, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If you count up the squares, you get 12. The area of length times width, that is how we calculate area. That's true, length times width. But this one, if you did 4 times 4, you would include everything in the middle, and that doesn't have anything in it. That's empty. So this would work if the inside of the figure was not empty. So it would work if there was something in there. That's empty, though. We don't want to count that part. The area of this figure is 12 square units. We just counted them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 square units. That is true. The area of this figure can be found by finding 4 times 4 using length times width and then subtracting out the middle, which is 2 squares by 2 squares. And if you subtract out the middle, so 4 times 4 is 16. And if I subtract out 2 times 2, which is the middle, I would get minus 4. 16 minus 4 is 12. The area of this area of this figure can be found by adding 8 by 8 is false. You could find the area by adding an additional 4 square units. So if you, if you added 8 by 8, you would get 16, so you'd have to take away 4 square units. So they're adding 4 plus 4, and then you'd have to add 1, 2, 3, 4. The area of this figure is 12 square centimeters. Again, it's not labeled centimeters, so we can't call it centimeters. So this one's false, 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 and then these 3 are true.